Hello, let's discuss Lesson 3.2 Language and Education Policy Evolution in the Philippines. These are the learning outcomes of the lesson. 1. Distinguish the key concepts of language in education policies. 2. Distinguish the different language in education policies in the Philippines. And 3. Analyze relevant issues in Philippine history that helped government institutions in upholding and propagating the national language. This lesson has 7 important topics, namely language governmentality, role of Spanish colonizers, the language policy of the Katipunan, the Aknabatuan Malulos constitutions, English as a single language for education, relevant Philippine language policies, and the birth of MTD-MLA. We will discuss each of these topics individually. Actually, as you can see, for this lesson, we will be exploring all important language policies implemented in the Philippines, especially in the educational sector, from the very beginning until the current time. Now, and before we begin, let me share to you a true-to-life event that is relevant to our lesson, and I want you to make some reactions regarding this event later on in our discussion. On July 30th, 2013, 3 high school students from St. George Christian Academy in Lawag City, Philippines, were given notice that they had been expelled from the private school for violating the school's English-only policy. In the letter signed by the school's principal, it was stated to the said students, "After you have been warned by Pastor Bayan Shano to speak Ilocano, you still continue to defy his order. In view of this, you are advised to transfer to another school effective today, July 31, 2013. In addition, in support of the expulsion, the school cited its handbook, which lists speaking the vernacular that is Ilocano inside the campus as an inappropriate conduct, a punishable offense, and expellable. So you see, the students' violation, speaking in the vernacular despite the school's English-only policy, led to their expulsion. Take note that this happened in 2013, the same year when Mother Tongue Day's Multilingual Education, or MTBMLE, a program under the K-12 curriculum, was implemented in the Philippines. This incident became a national controversy as the school's action appeared to contradict the promotion of the mother tongue that began that year. Therefore, given this scenario, may I ask the question, where do we position vernacular languages in schools? Should they be set aside or should their use be accepted within the school environment? What is your stand? To think of a more logical answer, let's discuss the topics in this lesson, beginning with number 1. Language governmentality. Our discussion here, by the way, is based upon one of the best articles I've read about the evolution of language policies in the Philippines titled Language Governmentality and Philippine Education Policy, written by Christopher Daw. First off, you see in the title the concept that is language governmentality. Let us know about the term first. What is it, and how does it relate to the creation as well as the evolution of Philippine language policies? Let us begin by exploring the term governmentality. The term governmentality is coined by the French historian and philosopher Michel Foucault. Again, the name is pronounced Michel Foucault. Governmentality is a blended term formed by combining government and mentality. The word government refers to activities intended to guide, shape, or influence people's conduct or behavior. When government is combined with mentality, the term governmentality refers to activities or practices that shape or influence people's mentality or the way people think and perceive something in the world. Thus, when we say language governmentality, this concept refers to activities or practices that shape or influence people's mentality or how they think about a particular language. As defined by Rose and Miller, language governmentality occurs when societies promote organized practices to mold citizens into the desired ideal of a particular socio-historical context. In order for you to better understand this definition, let me show you a visual representation. In a certain socio-historical context, there is, of course, a group of people which we call society. These people are bounded together by the same history. Now, language governmentality happens when these people organize or create practices in order to regulate the use of a certain language. For what purpose? For molding ideal citizens. Language governmentality should not be thought of as a top-down process. What is top-down process? It is a type wherein the elites at the top of the government coerce others into their bidding. Or it's a type of a governance wherein the rich or the high-ranking officials are the main decision makers and people at the bottom shall be forced to follow. Again, that is not what a true language governmentality is. An idealized language governmentality is when there is an alignment of the administrative apparatus of the state with the knowledge being produced in other institutions, such as universities and hospitals. What does this mean? This means that the state or government should work hand in hand with other institutions such as universities and hospitals in the creation and implementation of language policies. Universities are the ones which conduct research by doing surveys and interviews to the people. The hospitals can gather data of their clienteles. Other institutions and agencies can do the same so that all of this data gathered will be considered in the creation of language policies that will lead to language practices. In other words, language practices must be a product of a general consensus, decided by everyone, not just by few people at that top. Do you understand? So now can you tell me what is language governmentality? Should it be a top-down process or a bottom-up process? What is an ideal language governmentality?